Hey guys, here we are at part 5 of the story where Naruto is Jinchuriki of 9 tails as well as he is heir of Sage of 6 paths as well Minato Namikaze. We will see as Naruto takes on Shinobi world by storm. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe button. Now, let's jump right in. Wind Country, Northern Caves. Sasori came in from the side with his 2 spinning blades rotating as he drew near. Naruto reacted instinctively and jumped over the attack only to get caught in the shoulder by the tail end of the cable that came at him next. He winced from the pain it caused but shrugged it off and took a look at his shoulder. It was green and he knew instantly what that meant. "Your attacks are poison," Naruto stated. Of course, Sasori bellowed with a haunting look and pointed the tubes coming out of his hands at the blonde. Naruto ducked down under a patch of upturned earth as flames erupted from the tubes and blanketed over the area. The blonde cursed as used a kunai to open the wound in his shoulder up so it can let the poison out. Kyuubi's chakra was always slowed down whenever he was poisoned but thankfully the foul chakra was capable of destroying almost any poison in existence. The more deadly the poison the longer it would take to destroy it and quite frankly he just didn't have the time to wait for Kyuubi to destroy this particular poison. Naruto stood up and dashed out of cover, Sasori's flamethrowers trying to catch him as he did. The blonde jumped a moment later as high as he could go and formed several hand seals before taking a deep breath. Sasori's eyes widened as a massive blast of wind exploded from the blonde's mouth. Futon, Rinnegan. The already destroyed cave was blown away by the explosion of wind, nearby trees collapsed also and what was left would make a nice little lake in the future. Sasori's motionless and destroyed puppet form in the cluster of rubble. After a moment of silence Naruto sighed and turned to leave when he felt a shift in air behind him. Turning back swiftly he saw that Sasori's body was rebuilding itself and was soon capable of fighting again. "What does it take to kill you?" Naruto shouted. Sasori gave him a crazed look. "Didn't I say that there was art in eternal beauty?" He pulled out a scroll a moment later and opened it. AKA Higi, Hyaki no Soen, Naruto could only watch as 100 puppets appeared above them. Sasori put his right hand to his face and shook his head. "I once destroyed an entire country with these, to think you've pushed me this far." Naruto quickly formed a hand seal and his form exploded in chakra. Tajukage Bunshine no Jutsu, exactly 100 shadow clones appeared all over the destroyed cave. "Numbers mean nothing to me," Naruto shouted at the puppeteer. Sasori looked around with a crazed look on his face. "So many clones, once this is over I'll add your body to my collection. The number of clones you can call on a whim will be very helpful for me. I'm going to beat your wooden ass into the ground," Naruto shouted as he and his clones shot forward. "I know Orochimaru didn't want me to use this jutsu but I just can't think of any other way to make this guy stay down." "You can try." Sasori shot back as his puppets charged. The clones and the puppets clashed as Naruto made his way through the battlefield. His clones intercepted the attacks that the puppets sent at him as he drew closer to his intended target. 2 puppets came in front of him to block his path and he threw a single kunai through the rapidly closing gap towards Sasori. Once it was through the kunai exploded in smoke and transformed into the real Naruto, Henge no Jutsu. He formed a hand seal and a pair of clones appeared, running at his side. "When did he pull off a henge?" Sasori asked in surprise as Naruto came at him. "What is that jutsu?" he asked in thought when he heard a bell-like screech vibrate through the air and a white shuriken-like object appear in the blonde's hand. "Futon, Rasen Shuriken," Naruto called out as he drove the jutsu into the puppeteer's chest. There was a moment of silence before a deafening boom echoed through the area as Sasori was blown back and encased in a sphere of wind and power. The wind slashed and shredded his form before finally exploding with a massive blast of wind. The puppets all fell to the ground lifeless and the remaining clones went to work and destroy what was left of them with explosive notes while the real Naruto kept his gaze on the still standing Akatsuki agent. "Damn, I never expected you to use such a jutsu, I can feel it, my body is falling apart," Sasori rasped out. "That's what you get when you're body into a puppet, and for the record, my jutsu isn't finished. If it was you would already be nothing but dust right now," Naruto told him. Sasori let a smirk form on his face fractured. "You're something else Kyuubi Jinchuriki, I will soon die. Before that, I'll do something pointless for you, a reward for defeating me, you know Orochimaru don't you?" Naruto nodded unsure of where he was going with it. "Yes I'm planning on killing him." Sasori's smirk widened slightly. "Splendid, I have a spy in Hokage no Sato, one of Orochimaru's personal henchmen. I was supposed to meet him at the Tenchi bridge in 10 days at noon. It looks like I won't be able to." "Why are you telling me this?" Naruto asked him. Because it's something pointless, Sasori answered before his body shattered into dust and drifted off a moment later. Naruto clenched his fist and stood in place for 20 seconds before a column of light erupted from the destroyed container which once held Sasori's only human component, his heart. An object hovered in place for a moment before flying at high speeds directly into Naruto's hands, causing him to skid back a little. The blonde shook himself a moment later and looked down at the object in his hands. It was a brown crystal necklace which gave him the feeling of a slow-moving wind around him. The prophecy draws near, 3 of 6, Sage. What is this? Naruto asked, looking around and then back at the necklace in his hands. You are, Destiny, Child of Prophecy, Last Hope. Just who are you? Naruto asked the voice. No longer needed, Moon, Bijou. After a few minutes of silence, it was clear that Naruto wasn't going to get any answers and put the necklace around his neck just like he did with the other two he had gotten. He turned away a moment later and took off into the trees in the direction of Suna, knowing that his teammates were no doubt in the general direction. Wind Country, Northern Forest. Yu-Gi-Oh and Tuya had been pursuing the airborne Akatsuki member for the better part of 15 minutes now and could still hear the distinctive sound of explosions coming from behind them where they knew was fighting this man's partner. Above them, Datara flew atop his clay dragon and sneered back at them as he banked higher into the air above the small valley. Tuya, get ready, Yu-Gi-Oh told her as she ignited her arm in flames. Your move, bitch, the redhead responded with a grin. Kaden, Daikezuki. Datara's eyes widened in surprise as a long blade of fire extended out towards him. He tried to maneuver around it but was unable to dodge in time, and it sliced clean through his arm, causing him to gasp in pain. That bitch, she just took off my right arm, Datara growled in thought before sensed a presence behind him. He turned swiftly to see Tuya descending towards him with her fist covered in lightning. Damn it! Chidori! The redhead called out as Datara jumped away. Tuya cut right through the clay dragon and the two ninja dropped down into the trees below. Are you okay, Tuya? Yu-Gi-Oh asked as she appeared at her side. Just fucking great, the redhead responded. You two brats are pissing me off, Datara growled at them. We'll kick your ass, bastard, Tuya shot back. You kill innocent people and think you can get away with it? Don't even think that for a second, Yu-Gi-Oh told him. If by innocent people you mean you Jinchuriki, let me tell you something, we've captured 2 of them already, not including that red-haired brat of a Kage, and in both cases they were disgusting creatures who hated everything and were hated themselves. No one lifted a finger to help them or defend them, people were actually glad to see them go, Datara said with a grin. All monsters don't deserve to live, just like you. Tuya looked over at Yu-Gi-Oh and saw the stone expression on her face. The redhead turned back to their opponent and shouted in anger, who are you to decide who should live and who should die? Seems to me that you're the only monster here, bastard. Tuya, stop, Yu-Gi-Oh told her before she could rush forward. The blonde Kunoichi looked over at the Akatsuki agent again and said simply, if anyone doesn't deserve to live here, it's you. Datara scoffed at her, whatever you say, demon. You're too careless, Yu-Gi-Oh commented with a smile that belonged on a predator. Datara turned swiftly as he felt a figure drop in from behind him. It was another Yu-Gi-Oh with her arm covered in flames. Keizuki, she exclaimed as she sliced her jutsu through the Akatsuki member's other arm and severed it from his body. You bitch, Datara roared and made to kick her. Chidori, Tuya whispered as her lightning-covered fist tore through the man's back in a spray of blood. And no, Datara rasped out as Tuya removed her hand. He fell to the ground a moment later. He didn't get up. That was too easy, Tuya said simply. I know, he must have run out of clay when he fought Kazekage-sama, Yu-Gi-Oh mused, remembering what they were told about the man while in Suna. She checked the man's pulse just to make certain he was dead. There was none. What do we do now? Tuya asked her. We meet up with Yamato and the others, a voice said from behind them. They turned quickly before relaxing when they saw it was an exhausted Naruto. Are you two alright? We're fine, the guy was pretty much out of chakra and weapons to throw at us. I think we can thank Kazekage-sama for that, Yu-Gi-Oh told him. Yeah, the fucker went down in only a few moves, Tuya agreed. Akatsuki have 3 of the bijou in their possession now, including the Ichibi, Yu-Gi-Oh informed him. Naruto sighed and nodded, let's get out of here. He sealed away the body and the 3 took off into the trees once again. Wind Country, Plain. The 3 arrived on the grassy open plain where they came across the sight of an alive Gaara surrounded by dozens of Sunanins, including Tamari and a now healed Kankuro, along with Yamato and what looked like an unconscious Chiyo. The group saw them approach and they made their way to the center where Gaara stood giving his respects to Chiyo. Gaara? Naruto asked upon reaching the former Ichibi Jinchuriki. I am alive Uzumaki, Chio back and saved me. Gaara answered his unasked question. What happened? He asked the Kazekage. She gave her life for mine, Gaara replied as he gazed upon the woman who died to bring him back. She gave me a message to give to you, she said that the world will always belong to the younger generation. Naruto didn't know what to say to that. We must return to Suna, everyone move out. Gaara turned and started away but he fell forward since his legs were still adjusting to his control again. Naruto and Kankuro grabbed his arms and helped him walk. The rest of the group followed close behind as they set off towards the direction of Suna. Wind Country, Suna main entrance. Upon their return to Suna the Kazekage was taken to the hospital and Yugito attended to him since she was the most skilled medic there. Even without the Ichibi seal within him, Gaara still had some lingering abilities that the demon had. Most notably were his ability to control sand and quick recovery rate. 2 days after they returned to Suna, Gaara was allowed to leave the hospital and return to his duties as Kazekage. The villagers celebrated his return and of course Team Naruto was forced to attend at Gaara's request. Finally on the 3rd day it was time for the team to leave for Konoha after receiving recall orders via Messenger Hawk. Well, I guess this is where we part ways, huh? Naruto asked the young Kazekage. Thank you for everything you've done for me Uzumaki-san, Gaara said, holding out his hand. Naruto took it. It's Namikaze now actually, Tuya is an Uzumaki. A flash of surprise crossed Gaara's face but he nodded after a moment. I see, do be careful on your journey. Hey, it's me, Naruto said indignantly. That's why I worry, Gaara grunted. Akatsuki now has 3 of the bijou, they will come after you and Nisan soon. We'll be ready, Naruto told him. I hope you are, Gaara nodded and took a step back. Come on let's go, I want to be back in Konoha in 3 days, Naruto said to his team and turned away. Hey wait for me. Tuya called as she took off after him. Kazekage-sama, Yugito bowed before following. If you find out anything about Akatsuki please send a message to the Hokage, Kazekage, Yamato said and soon followed after them. What do we do now Gaara? Temari asked her brother. We prepare, Gaara said as he turned and entered the village. Fire Country, Konoha Hokage Tower, is the information reliable? The Hokage asked the team standing in front of his desk. He didn't strike me as someone who would send us on a wild goose chase, he wanted Orochimaru dead as much as we do and seemed to generally want me to kill him. Besides even if it is a trap, we can fight our way out of it, Naruto continued. Are you sure you want to go through with this Naruto? Yugito? Kakashi asked the 2 blondes. Yugito nodded in reply, we need to do this. Sasuke and Sakura have to answer for the things they've done. We need to confront them, Naruto told him. Kakashi nodded slowly, I see, very well then. Go, confront this Akatsuki spy and if possible retrieve Sasuke and Sakura. Naruto nodded at the orders, thank you. There is one thing before you go, I'm adding a new member to the team, Sai come in, Kakashi said and the door opened to reveal a pale Onbu without a mask. Hello, I am Sai, the newcomer greeted them with a clearly fake smile. Sensei? Naruto asked, turning to the Hokage. Kakashi sighed, I had to compromise with the village elders concerning you and Yugito. In exchange for allowing you both to continue your missions, the leader of the Root Onbu, Danzo wanted one of his men on your team, Sai is the one he selected. Senpai, I hope you know what you're doing, Yamato thought when he saw the boy. What is with that smile? It's clearly fake, Yugito narrowed her eyes at him. He's hot but that smile is plain creepy. Who am I to judge? Were Tuya's thoughts on the matter? Danzo, Uro-sennin warned me about him, I need to be careful with this one, Naruto thought and turned back to the Root Onbu. Welcome to the team, he said with a nod. Sai merely gave his signature smile, it is a pleasure to be working in the service of Konoha. I hope you can lead well, Dickless. I'm gonna kill him, Naruto said simply and cracked his knuckles. I'm going to Amiga Kurno Sato, Jiraiya said clearly as he looked across the desk at the Hokage. They could have been lying, Kakashi suggested. Jiraiya just shook his head, if the leader of Akatsuki really is Nagato then I need to find out for certain. He was one of my students Kakashi, if it were Minato instead would you be second-guessing my actions? No I wouldn't, Kakashi admitted. Then at least take a small team with you, he continued. Again the Gama-sennin shook his head, this requires stealth. A full squad of ninja aren't going to be able to infiltrate Ame, to get in unnoticed I need to go alone. Fine, go, Kakashi sighed and leaned back in his chair. Thank you, Jiraiya bowed and left a moment later. Nobody was prepared for what would happen on that particular mission. Fire Grass Country, border. The now 5-man team had spent the rest of the day on the road to Grass Country where they would meet the Akatsuki spy and hopefully get some useful information from him. "Sai, if you call me Dickless one more time I swear to Kami that I will kick your ass," Naruto growled at the Rudanbu. Sai simply smiled. "My apologies Naruto-san. I was just offering my opinion on your ability to lead the team." "Well, you're what we normal ninja call an asshole. I swear you're worse than Sasuke on his worst days," Naruto grunted in annoyance. "If you say so, but let me point out two important details in your logic. Uchiha Sasuke is a traitor who abandoned the village and so is Haruno Sakura. I am not a traitor like they are," Sai explained with his smile. "Well, your personality could do with some work," Tuya quipped. Sai smiled at her. "And what personality do you think I should use?" The redhead frowned at him. "That's not something you can decide, Dickman. It comes naturally, everyone has their own personality that defines them." "And I suppose yours is the tough girl who curses a lot?" Sai questioned. Tuya nodded slowly in reply. "What is with you anyway? You act like you don't know what emotions are." Sai smiled again. I don't have feelings." "What do you mean you don't have feelings?" Yugito was the one who asked. Sai turned to her and answered with a smile. "Just like I said, I don't feel anything. Surely you must feel something?" Tuya inquired after a moment of silence. Sai just smiled. "No, I don't feel anything." Naruto looked behind at the three other teens. He spoke after a moment of silence. "Let's stop at the next town for the night. We can rest there and set off for the bridge tomorrow evening. The meeting isn't for another 3 days. What do we do until then?" Tuya asked. "That's simple. We train and improve our teamwork. Even if the spy wasn't followed we will still have to capture them," Naruto stated clearly. "I know a few jutsu I can teach you all, they're Doden and Suten jutsu," Yamato spoke up and cast a look at the Nibi Jinchuriki. "I am sorry Yugito-san, but I do not know any Raken or Katen jutsu." Yugito nodded in understanding. "Don't worry about it Yamato-Teiko. I'm still working on a jutsu of my own anyway so it's fine." "Yamato-Teiko," Naruto said, getting the man's attention. "I heard from Hokage-sensei that you can use Makuten jutsu, right?" The question surprised the others there. "Yes, that's right. I prefer not to talk about how I received this particular power though," Yamato stated with a nod. "Since the only person on record to have ever been able to use Makuten jutsu was the Shodai Hokage, I was wondering if it was possible to learn it," Naruto said over his shoulder. "It's not something that can be taught. To even be able to use it correctly you would need to have senju blood flowing in your veins. And even then you might not be able to use it. I mean, look at Tsunade-sama. She's a senju but she is unable to use Makuten jutsu," Yamato informed him. "I actually have senju blood flowing in me, Tuya has too. We're both descended from the Senju clan from during the clan wars. There is also the fact that the Senju are descended from the Rikudo Sennin." Surprise flashed across the Anbu captain's eyes. "It's not exactly public knowledge but it's not like certain people don't already know that detail," he finished as he turned towards the Rudanbu of the team. "Danzo-sama is already fully aware of this information Naruto-san," Sai stated with a smile. "I thought so." Naruto knew there was nothing that got past that man. "Alright, I'll try teaching you Makuten jutsu but my skill pales in comparison to the Shodai Hokage. I may not be of much help," Yamato admitted. "Some help is better than none," Yugito said with a shrug. "Can you teach me those jutsus you used on the last mission? You know the Rinnegan ones?" Tuya asked the Kyubi Jinchuriki. "If you do I'll teach you one of my Rinnegan jutsus. I can't really use it right considering the chakra levels involved." "What is it?" Naruto asked her over his shoulder. "A jutsu called Chibaku Tensei. Grass Country, Hitomi Town Hot Spring." They arrived in town a day later and set themselves up in one of the many hotels there. After settling into a hotel the team decided to pay a visit to the local hot springs. This decision set off chain of events. "Well, that's enough male bonding for me. Before I go, Naruto, I think there is something you should know about Jiraiya-sama," Yamato said, getting out of the water. Naruto stopped his trek towards the barrier that separated the men and women baths. He turned and asked, "What is it Yamato-Teiko?" "A very long time ago, when Jiraiya-sama was a small boy he came very close to death once. He had 6 fractured ribs and both of his arms were broken. He suffered multiple ruptured internal organs too." "Do you want to know what the reason was?" "Supposedly he was caught peeping on Tsunade and she beat the shit out of him. So before you hop out of the spring and take a peek over that fence, let me ask you something. What do you think Yugito-san would do in that same situation?" Yamato's question made Naruto's face turn pale. Naruto watched as the Anbu captain set off towards the changing rooms, thinking about what the man had said. It would so be worth it, the blonde reasoned, and started towards the fence again. "Ready to go back now, bitch?" Tuya asked. The female hot spring was empty except for the two of them, and it was getting late. "You go on ahead, I'll catch up," Yugito told her. The redhead looked at her friend for a moment before struggling and continuing on her way to the changing rooms. Yugito laid back against the edge of the spring and sighed in content as she looked out over the empty bath. She grabbed a towel and fastened it around her. A moment later she disappeared in a burst of speed. You should never try and peep on someone who can sense your exact location from a mile away. Naruto, who had been peeking through a man-made hole in the outside of the spring bath, blinked at seeing his fellow blonde just disappear. "What do you think you're doing?" Yugito asked from behind him, still dressed in only a towel. He yelped in surprise and suddenly remembered what Yamato had told him earlier. "I'm not peeping. I mean, I'm sorry. Please don't kill me." He cowered. It was then that Yugito caught sight of what he was wearing, or lack thereof. Like her, he was only wearing a towel which covered his modesty like she had done for hers. She blushed and looked away as he did much the same. "I'm not going to kill you," she said, still blushing. If you wanted to see me like this, then why you could have just asked," she stuttered out. Yeah, I'm sorry, I think I should go." He moved away. She grabbed his hand and stopped him. "Yugito?" he asked upon seeing her action. I know we've been busy lately, but do we have to keep dancing around the issue?" She stuttered out the question. "See, can we just not stop?" she asked him hesitantly. "Yugito?" he asked, confused. "Just this once." She leaned in and kissed him. She stopped a second later. "Can we just be us? No mission, no attachment, no restraint, no Kumo, no Konoha, no Akatsuki, just us." He looked into her eyes. If you want." She kissed him again and the two were consumed with passion. Grass Country, Hitomi Town Hotel. The morning sun shone across the small town and into the room where the red-headed Rinnegan user slept. She groaned and turned over to avoid the sun. Even after burying her head in her pillow, she knew she wouldn't be able to sleep anymore and groggily sat up. She looked across at the futon Yugito was supposed to occupy but found it empty. The first thought that went through her head was that she didn't come back last night. The second thought was where she was, and her final thought plastered a grin on the redhead's face. There was only one other place Yugito would willingly sleep, Naruto's futon. That cat would only be with him. Then again, her brothers and her best friend's sex life was not really any of her business. Tuya groaned and turned her attention the window. She blinked. "Is that Dickman sitting out there?" Tuya asked herself when she saw the black figure of the rude Anbu sitting at the edge of the balcony a few dozen meters away. She quickly got dressed and left the room. Sai sat at the edge of the balcony in a cross-legged position with a sketch pad in hand. He made no facial expression as he finished yet another one of his drawings, but yet again couldn't find a name for it, just like the others he had made. "I never figured you to be the artistic type, Dickman." He looked over his shoulder and saw Tuya approach. "Looks can be deceiving," Sai responded in monotone. "Don't I know it?" she chuckled bitterly. "You know, for a guy who says he doesn't have any feelings, you sure do create a lot of shit like what's in your hand." Sai just smiled. "The same could be said for you and your music." "Fuck you," the redhead shot back. No one insulted her music, no one sane anyway. She calmed herself a moment later. "What's its name anyway?" "Excuse me?" he asked politely. "Your drawing, what's its name?" Tuya said as she gestured to the sketchpad in his hand. "Honestly, whenever I try and give them titles, nothing good comes to mind," Sai admitted, still smiling. "The right words escape me, and I just don't feel anything." The two fell into silence for a few seconds. "If you don't feel anything, then what is this exactly?" Tuya asked him as she held out a small sketchbook. "That's..." Sai trailed off and took the book from her hands. "It isn't finished yet, because it belongs to my brother." "Oh? Where's your brother now?" the redhead asked him. "Dead." His answer stopped her response cold. "Then that's more reason for you to actually feel something," Tuya told him. "And what expression would I need to make?" Sai asked with a smile. She didn't have an answer. "Hey, you two," Yamato called from the hotel entrance. "We're leaving now, go get your things and meet us at the Eastern Plaza." "Yes sir," they both nodded in understanding. "Good, you're both here. Now we're just waiting for Naruto-san and Yugito-san." "Where are they exactly?" Yamato asked, annoyed at their absence. "Hey!" Naruto called as the two blondes approached. "Isn't it a great morning?" he asked and sighed in content. Tuya looked over at Yugito and the two locked eyes for a minute. The moment Yugito turned away, a large smirk stretched across the redhead's lips as she looked at the Kumo-jonin. "You two didn't come back last night, and you look like someone who just had an amazing fuck," Tuya whispered to her. "How was he?" "He's your brother," Yugito growled back, clearly embarrassed. "That's not something you should be asking me." The redhead just kept grinning. "That good, I see." "Shut up," the Nibi Jinchuriki hissed. "You seem to be in a good mood this morning," Yamato commented upon seeing the team leader. Naruto rolled his shoulders back and a few nuts were cracked. "And why wouldn't I be? It is a beautiful day and soon we'll be able to complete this mission." Yamato raised an eyebrow at the declaration but after a moment merely shrugged and turned away. Sai had other plans, however. "Was she disappointed in your sexual relations with her?" Naruto shot him a glare. "No, and shut up already. It was one of those days." "Grass country, Tenchi Bridge." "Sasori," the hooded figure greeted. Sasori examined the Akatsuki spy as he removed his hood. "How the time flies." "It was Yakushi Kabuto." "No tail?" Sasori's gruff voice asked. "None, I assure you," Kabuto confirmed. "How do you feel?" It was a simple question. "There remains some disorientation from when your jutsu dissolved and I started remembering who I really was, but it'll pass," Kabuto informed. "How many questions?" Sasori asked him. "There isn't much time, so please be quick. I've risked my life coming here," Kabuto said nervously. "Uchiha Sasuke, where is he?" Sasori questioned. "There are several hideouts, but these change from week to week, so his location cannot be pinpointed. Some are in countries outside of sound that Orochimaru's spies have infiltrated and maintained for us. But there is no set transfer plan or pattern. We're currently laying low at a safe house on a small island in the northern lake, but we'll be moving in 3 days' time." "Uchiha Sasuke is also there right now," Kabuto answered. Suddenly there was a rustle in the bushes behind him and he threw a kunai at it. After a moment a small rabbit jumped out and he let out a sigh of relief. "Just a rabbit." Kabuto turned and continued, "So regarding the matter you asked me to look into. Even after Orochimaru transfers bodies, he puts up a protective barrier on the cell specimens from the old host body, so I have not been able to analyze them." "I see," Sasori nodded at the information. After a moment Kabuto said almost in panic, "Look, this is taking too long. If Orochimaru discovers I met with will be the least of my worries. You know what I want, now give it to me." "Very well," Sasori conceded and reached into his cloak. A moment later he pulled out a kunai and a figure appeared behind Kabuto. "Interesting conversation, do you mind if we join you?" Orochimaru asked sinisterly as Sasori and Kabuto jumped away from him. "If you hadn't pulled out your kunai, Sasori, I wouldn't have gotten away in time," Kabuto admitted with shaky breath. "Your back memories, Sasori," Orochimaru said with a smirk. "Did you follow Kabuto?" Sasori questioned. "Oh come now, I just wanted to say hello and thank you for sending me this one. He's been so handy to have. Every time I develop a new jutsu I need at least 100 human bodies to experiment on. Thanks to Kabuto's medical ninjutsu I get to use them over and over again. There's such a shortage of volunteers, you know," Orochimaru explained as two well-known figures appeared at his side. One was a dark-haired male wearing white and black clothing with a katana strapped horizontally to his back. The other wore a pink and red outfit to match her pink hair. Upon closer inspection these two individuals were Uchiha Sasuke and Haruno Sakura, Nuknins of Konohagacha no Sato. "Kami, there they are," Yugito whispered from the tree line behind Sasori. "I couldn't sense them until they were right on top of him." She gritted her teeth at the situation. "Don't worry about it, Yugito, we knew that this might be a trap," Naruto told her. Suddenly Kabuto's hand became a blur of blue energy as he sliced through Sasori and revealed the occupant inside it. Yamato jumped back and was met with a wave of snakes which grabbed him and bit down on him. He turned to wood and shattered a moment later as the real him dropped down further away from the newcomers and Kabuto. I don't understand, Kabuto. You're supposed to be an Akatsuki spy under Sasori's sleeper jutsu," Yamato said, confused at the situation. "I'm afraid your intelligence is a little out of date. Orochimaru-sama removed that problem a long time ago," Kabuto stated clearly. "So you were just pretending to be under Sasori's jutsu while you were really under Orochimaru's jutsu instead," Yamato mused. "Wrong again, I'm afraid. Orochimaru-sama and I share a common philosophy. I'm with him of my own free will," Kabuto declared. "Who are you anyway? You ruined out plans for Sasori?" he asked. "Patience, Kabuto, all will be revealed in due time. Starting with the 3 rats hiding behind Papa Rat here," Orochimaru said with a grin. Yamato motioned forward and 4 figures blurred down in front of him. Why am I not surprised to see you, Naruto-kun? Naruto, Yugito, Sakura said upon seeing her former teammates. Dobi, demon woman, Sasuke said unimpressed. It's been a long time, Sasuke, Sakura, Naruto spoke as he examined the two Nukenin. I see you've been doing well for yourselves, huh, traitors? Yugito asked as she gave them both a once-over. Well, isn't this a happy reunion? Orochimaru asked with a sadistic smirk on his face. And here I was hoping to fight my old partner Sasori, but instead you brats show up. Well, that explains Papa Rat over there. Of course he would be on your team, huh, Naruto-kun, Yugito-chan? He mused as he looked over at Yamato. Sasuke's eyes morphed into a Sharingan and Naruto looked over at him. A moment later everything around him changed. Naruto's mindscape, Jinchuriki seal. It was dark and damp when Sasuke entered the sewer-like mind of his former friend and rival. He looked impassive as he entered what was clearly the main room where the Kyuubi cell was located. He looked up at the beast and it took notice of him. The water in front of the cage came together to form a large fox head and it glared at the newcomer. An Uchiha dares to step into my presence? Know your place, abomination, for you are in the presence of a god, Kyuubi growled at him. A god? More like a pet, Sasuke smirked as the fox roared. You should respect your betters, abomination, you are only here thanks to those things you have for eyes. A product of your cursed bloodline, Kyuubi sneered at the Uchiha. Sasuke merely looked at him with a neutral expression. It seems this isn't your first encounter with these eyes. You really don't know anything, do you, abomination? Even with those eyes you still cannot see through your hate. It is fitting, I suppose. Your chakra is vile and reminds me of Uchiha Madara. Make no mistake, abomination, you have no power here, Kyuubi said with a sinister smirk. Do not underestimate the power of the Uchiha clan, Sasuke started. I just need to suppress your power so I don't need to deal with it outside. Your hatred has blinded you, I see. How do you plan on accomplishing such a task? Your will has always been inferior to my containers, Kyuubi taunted. The Dobi is irrelevant, Sasuke said as he stepped forward and made to grab the fox head by the nose. He was stopped however when someone grabbed his outstretched hand. What? Team, you do know that your Jujutsu is nothing but a bastardized version of the Rinnegan, don't you? Do you really think you can enter the head of a Rinnegan user and do whatever the fuck you want? Get over yourself. Naruto blew the Uchiha away from the fox. Sasuke crashed into the wall and gritted his teeth in anger. You. The last time we fought I could have killed you, I didn't want to but I could have. I thought we were friends, team, but clearly I was wrong. Looking at you now I see that. Last time I only spared your life on a whim, and now I'll take it on a whim, Naruto declared. Now get out of my head, he shouted and blew Sasuke out of his mind. How much did you hear, boy? The Kyuubi questioned his jailer. Naruto turned to the fox head. All of it. You got some explaining to do, fox. Who the fuck is Madara and why did you keep calling Sasuke an abomination? Hey, it seems that sister of yours is rubbing off on you. You'll find out the truth in due time, boy. The fox chuckled as it turned into water again and moved back into its cage. Where were you anyway? You just let him enter here and make it all the way into this room before finally stopping him. Why? While he was in my mind, I was in his, Naruto answered truthfully. He grinned. I now know exactly where over 47 of Orochimaru's bases are, both in grass and sound countries. Even now you continue to amuse me, Naruto, just like you did. The Kyuubi chuckled darkly as his crimson eyes glowed in the darkness behind the bars. But do not think for a second I will bow before you like I did to him so long ago. We are still enemies, never forget that, boy, and do not think for a second that I will not eventually be free of this seal. You can try, fox, Naruto said as he turned away. But for now you owe me rent, were his final words before disappearing through the archway. Even now you act like him. I suppose it's fitting that my second jailer is the successor of my first jailer, the Kyuubi mused as he was left alone once again. Grass country, Tenchi Bridge. Sasuke turned his head away and rubbed his eyes. Sasuke-kun? Sakura asked worriedly. Never try to enter my mind again, team. Next time I will do more than throw you out, Naruto said, clearly having returned to the land of the living as well. How do you want to play this, Naruto? Yugito asked her fellow blonde. We'll take them on separately, Naruto told her, and the rest of the team. Yugito, you take Sasuke, and Yamato, you take Sakura. Tuya and Sai, you two take Kabuto. What about you? Tuya asked him. Orochimaru is mine, Naruto responded. The Otokuchi smirked in amusement. Do you really think you can win here, Naruto-kun? We'll do more than win, we'll kill you, Naruto replied clearly. Shunpo no Jutsu, In a flash of yellow he appeared before the Otokage with a chest-sized ball of chakra in hand. Kodama Rasengan. He called out as the jutsu connected and blew everything in range into the air. Orochimaru landed on one of the trees, clearly missing his left arm and still smirking at the blonde Konoha Jonin. A moment later a pair of hands erupted from his mouth and stretched his mouth open to allow another Orochimaru to emerge completely unharmed. "You have the QB and the Rinnegan and that is the best you can do? Pathetic," the Otokage taunted as he threw away his damaged body and smirked at the blonde once again. "I killed Sasori so I will kill you too," Naruto snarled at him. Orochimaru raised an eyebrow at that piece of information. "You called Sasori? Hey interesting, you're still very amusing Naruto-kun but you're still not in my or Sasuke-kun's league." He held up his hands and dozens of snakes shot out towards Naruto, Sinai Taijashu. Naruto saw them coming and formed several quick hand seals. Futon, Rinnegan. He inhaled a large breath and then exhaled a massive blast of wind which shredded snakes and cut through the trees in its line of fire. The wind bullet detonated in a massive blast and leveled a good 80-foot radius around where it exploded. Orochimaru lay down on the ground of the now smooth surface with a smirk still on his face. Mandara no Jin. Dozens if not hundreds of snakes erupted from Orochimaru's mouth and slithered towards the blonde Konoha Jonin. Each snakehead had a blade of some kind pointing out of their mouths and was no doubt ready to slash and or stab their target. "Damn, that is a lot of snakes. I have no choice but you use the jutsu. This guy is as strong as Uro-sennin when he's serious," Naruto thought as he formed several hand seals. Makuten, Taji Daijirin no Jutsu. Naruto threw out both of his arms and they turned into wood right before his eyes. Surprise flashed over Orochimaru's features and he lost his smirk as the wood seemed to expand and sharpen until there were hundreds of wooden spikes. The snakes were impaled and otherwise slaughtered under the hail of wooden spikes. When it was over, the wood severed from Naruto's body and his arms returned to normal as Orochimaru stood up, no longer amused. "How can you use the Shodai Hokage's jutsu?" the Otokage demanded. It was Naruto's turn to smirk. "You don't know your history that well, do you? The Senju and the Uchiha clans both descended from the Rikudo Sennin and by proxy the Rinnegan. The Rinnegan was responsible for creating jutsu and discovering chakra, so of course I can use it. It doesn't matter to you though since you'll be dead by the end of the day." "We'll see," Orochimaru sneered. Kage Bunshine no Jutsu. Two shadow clones popped into existence beside the blonde Konoha Jonin and he held out his hand towards them. "Oh dear, this is unfortunate," Orochimaru thought worriedly as he saw the two clones concentrate chakra and the distinctive sound of a bell-like screech filling the air. He bit his thumbs and formed several hand seals. A second later he slammed his hands into the ground. Kushios, Sanju Rashomon. Three massive demonic gates rose up from the ground in front of him. "That should hold him," he mused. Naruto jumped forward towards the massive gates and slammed his jutsu into it. Futon, Rasen Shuriken. The first gate completely shattered the moment the jutsu touched it, the second didn't fare any better and the third one was only able to hold itself together for half a second before it crumbled under the pressure of the attack. Orochimaru's eyes widened as Naruto rammed the jutsu into midsection and he was blown back. The chakra shuriken expanded and encased the Otokage in a ball of spinning wind and power. He screamed in pain as every nucleus in his body was slashed and destroyed by the jutsu until it finally exploded in a blast of wind. Orochimaru fell into the center of the newly formed crater and writhed in pain from the blow. "I win, Orochimaru," Naruto said simply. "No. I refuse to be beaten by a failure like you." The Otokage snarled as his body exploded upwards. "Yamato no Jutsu," Orochimaru roared as his body changed into the shape of a massive snake with 8 heads. "What the hell is that thing?" Naruto asked out loud when he saw the monstrosity. "Die!" Orochimaru screeched from one of the mouths as 2 of the heads came down on the blonde. "What the hell is this?" Naruto thought as he dodged the 2 large snake heads that tried to eat and or crush him. He turned himself into a giant snake with 8 heads. "How the hell do I hurt him now? Think, damn it, think." He rolled under one of the necks and formed several hand seals. A moment later trees exploded from the ground and lifted the massive snake into the air. Makuten Haijutsu, Jukai Katan. "The abilities of the Shodai Hokage will not save you here, boy." The heavy sennin roared at him and broke from of the man-made forest. "I haven't mastered Chibaku Tensei yet and that's the only jutsu I know that could do the kind of damage that's needed. Futon, Rinnegan might be able to slow him down but eventually he'll get me," Naruto thought as he tried to calm himself. "Die already, boy," Orochimaru shouted as 5 of the snake heads struck as one. "I have to dodge," Naruto thought as he lunged out of the way. He managed to escape certain death, but one of the snakeheads caught him in the side and sent him crashing into the forest. "Crap, what the hell hit me? I think all of my ribs just broke." He groaned in pain and shakily managed to stand again. He looked up and saw that the snakeheads were ready to finish the job. "Damn it, there's nothing I can do. You have interfered in my plans too many times, kindly die," Orochimaru sneered, and the head struck. Crimson light exploded from Naruto and the heads were forced to back off as a vile chakra washed over the area. What followed was a massive shockwave dozens of feet tall and at least 5 miles wide. Trees and the earth itself were blown away by the sheer power that was unleashed. When the shockwave died down, the entire area was reduced to one large crater with a figure crouched down on all fours at its center. It was a crimson chakra fox with 4 tails swishing behind it. The chakra was so condensed that you couldn't even see who was in it. "Oh dear, this is unfortunate," Orochimaru commented as he backed away slightly. The Kyuubified Naruto roared as it threw out its hand and the chakra claw shot out towards the Otokage. The 8 heads of Orochimaru slithered out of the way as the massive chakra claw tried to catch him. Having initially missed its target, the chakra claw released another 2 chakra claws from its arm and they aimed to catch one of the heads of the Otokage. "Alright then, let's try this," Orochimaru sneered as one of the heads turned and opened, releasing a batch of snakes at the chakra claws. They melted almost instantly upon contact with the claws. "Oh dear." He smirked and sent one of his heads to attack Naruto directly. The Kyuubified Naruto saw the approaching attack but was unable to evade as the head struck down on him, blowing up a batch of the earth as it happened. Almost instantly the head and by proxy the rest of the neck were slashed clean off as Naruto tore through it. "You're not even conscious, are you, Naruto-kun?" Orochimaru sneered as he tried to pull back. Naruto wouldn't have any of that. A claw of chakra erupted from his chest and hit the ground right in front of the large, now 7-headed snake. A moment later Naruto was pulled by the claw and Orochimaru's eyes widened in horror as he brought his fist down on yet another one of his heads. There was an echoing blast as the forest around the pair was blown away from the impact. "Damn you! Why won't you just die already?" Orochimaru shouted in anger as hundreds of small snakes streamed out of the 6 heads that he had left. Naruto paid them no heed as brought his hand up and then down, sending out a massive shockwave which completely annihilated over 400 snakes. Once it was over he roared and dozens of blue and red balls of chakra erupted from his body. His 4 tails came to a stop directly in front of him and the balls all merged into a single sphere at the center. "Now what?" The Otokage knew he wouldn't get an answer. His eyes were narrowed as he tried to move away. Contact with chakra so dense, would kill even me. The chakra sphere compressed itself into a smaller ball and Naruto swallowed it a moment later. "How do you plan on fighting while weighed down by all that chakra, Naruto-kun?" His answer came when Naruto's fox body expanded into a ball and then expanded again after a few seconds. "So that's how. I need to get away now." Orochimaru tried to cancel his jutsu but knew he didn't have enough time. "Ibiko Amari," it came as nothing but a scratchy whisper as the chakra ball exploded from Naruto's mouth. "No," Orochimaru yelled in fear before his world was consumed in light. Grass Country, Tenchi Bridge Keizuki. Chidori Katana. There was a clang as Yugito and Sasuke clashed at the center of the old bridge. The others having split up and went their own ways during the opening stages of battle. They could both still hear the sounds from the other fights go on away from them, most notably the one between Naruto and Orochimaru. "Just give up, demon woman. I would much rather you live and kill a few more Akatsuki members. They will be coming for you shortly, I believe," Sasuke said impassively. "Your concern for my well-being is heartwarming, really." Yugito's voice was dripping with sarcasm. No wonder the Rikudo Sennin chose the Senju over the Uchiha when he had to choose his successor, she continued. "Do not insult the Uchiha clan," Sasuke told her with a voice of steel. If there was one way to cause Sasuke anger, it was insult his family and clan. "Yeah, they were a great bunch. I have to thank Itachi-san the next time I see him for wiping you scumbags out." Yugito knew it was a low blow, but she was a kunoichi and would take every advantage she could get in this fight. She saw him making a set of hand seals that she knew and quickly formed the same ones. "Kaden, Gukaku no Jutsu!" the two exclaimed as they both blew out a massive fireball each towards each other. The 2 attacks collided in the center and exploded in a storm of flames. The center of the bridge shattered and fire covered the crumbling supports that held it together. Sasuke was airborne in his Curse Seal Level 2 state while Yugito was forced to retreat off of the bridge. This was when Sasuke struck. "Chidori Izo," he spoke as a spear-like lightning weapon shot out of his fingertips and tore through her shoulder. She flew through the air and collided with a tree, the attack going through both her and the tree. He retracted his jutsu and she fell to her knees as she tried to heal her wound. He strolled forward and grabbed her wrist before she could react. "Chidori Nagashi," he said, and Yugito cried out in pain as electricity jolted through her nervous system. "Any last words?" he asked as he tossed her to the ground. Screw you," she rasped out. "You're not my type," Sasuke sneered down at her. Her body exploded in a purple light and an intense heat washed over the area. When the light died, there now stood a 3-story tall fire cat with 2 tails, and she roared. "This is different than before from both her and the Dobi," Sasuke thought as he remembered his fight with Naruto 3 years ago. He took to the skies as she sent a blast of purple flames at him. "In this form Kaden and Raiden Jutsu will be ineffective, perhaps I can suppress her." He concentrated his Sharingan on the demon car's eyes and suddenly the world around them changed. Yugito's mindscape, Jinchuriki seal. Unlike Naruto's mind where it was one large sewer system, Yugito's mindscape was one large graveyard. Gravestones and tombs littered the area, giving an unpleasant aura to it. In the center of this was a large metal cage with a 100-story tall raging fire cat with 2 tails inside it. Uchiha Sasuke approached the cage much like he did previously with Naruto, but this time he was confident he could suppress this demon without much trouble, unlike with Naruto and the Kyuubi. "Uchiha, you have a lot of nerve showing your face here," the Nibi snarled at him. "Why is it that you demons seem to know about my clan?" Sasuke questioned her. "You will get no answers from me, Hellspawn, leave or face my wrath," the fire cat growled out. "Do not presume to be able to order me around, demon. You remain trapped in this cage and I command you to recall your chakra. Obey me," Sasuke said with his Sharingan spinning wildly, and the Nibi's chakra was forced to retract itself back to the cage. "Get away from her." A purple blur slugged him across the face. "It was Yugito. I thought Naruto told you not to go poking around at people's heads, asshole." Sasuke wiped some blood from his bottom lip and narrowed his eyes in anger. "I've done what I came to do. We'll finish this outside, demon woman." He was gone a moment later. "He's suppressed my chakra, kitten. I will no longer be able to aid you in this fight," the Nibi informed her host. Yugito looked over and clenched her fists. "Damn it, I hate those eyes. You and me both, kitten." "Don't die," the Nibi told her. Yugito nodded and disappeared a moment later. "Grass country, forest Chidori," Sasuke exclaimed as he threw out his fist towards where her heart was located. "Keizuki." Yugito narrowly parried the attack and kicked him away, now having regained her human form. Sasuke recovered quickly. "However, you're strong. You would have made an acceptable consort. If you think I'd ever go along with a bastard like you, then you must seriously be smoking something illegal. No one sane would ever willingly want to be within a 10-foot radius of you," Yugito said, disgusted. "Sakura did," Sasuke pointed out with a small smirk. "And like I said, no one sane would ever go with you," Yugito shot back. "Face it, team, compared to Naruto you will always be second best and he will always be one step ahead of you no matter what you do. Itachi-san doesn't even see you. His target is Naruto and I? In fact, I'm not even sure if he sees me. He seems more interested in Naruto than you or me. I will kill Itachi," Sasuke stated clearly. Yugito scoffed at the declaration. "You and what army? You wouldn't even be able to scratch Itachi. He'd have to be half blind for him to take you seriously. Do not speak to me of Itachi," Sasuke shouted and charged forward head-on. "It looks like I hit a nerve," Yugito smirked as she formed several hand seals. When she was finished, she threw her hand out towards her attacker and a dragon made of lightning shot out towards him. "Raiden, Rinnegan no Jutsu." Sasuke was surprised at the attack but quickly recovered and evaded the jutsu. "Too slow," he commented and charged forward as Yugito prepared for the assault again. The two froze when they heard a deafening explosion and the eastern horizon exploded into a white light. The two turned towards the source and saw smoke now drifting from far off in the distance. Yugito honed her senses and detected only one chakra signature in that direction, Naruto's. This meant the battle was over and Orochimaru was dead. "So Orochimaru is dead?" Sasuke mused and took to the air. "Hey, where do you think you're going?" Yugito questioned. "I no longer have an interest in the situation," Sasuke said simply and flapped his wings a few times. He disappeared behind the tree line and out of view, leaving her to her thoughts. Yugito gave a sigh of relief and frustration. "Damn." She turned towards where the blast had originated and took off. "There is no use in tracking Sasuke team at the moment. I need to get to Naruto and see if he needs any help. I doubt he got through his fight and killed a Sannin without taking some serious damage." "She's fast," Yamato thought as he evaded one of Sakura's punches. One of her punches struck the tree behind him and it shattered instantly. "She's strong too." In fact, I think that's Tsunade-sama's super strength, but where did this girl learn that? Hold still. The pinkette shouted as she caught him in the side with a roundhouse kick. Fuck, that hurts. Yamato cried in pain as he felt his arm become dislocated. He skidded away as she turned to face him. That was a cheap shot. I'm a kunoichi, she shot back. Yamato grabbed his dislocated arm with his other arm and snapped it back into place. Sakura saw this and shot forward as he started forming hand seals once more. Just as she got within range to attack, Yamato completed his jutsu and channeled chakra into his feet. Doten, Doriuso, he grunted out as spikes of rock erupted from the ground around him and tried to impale the pinkette. Sakura jumped back to avoid the attack and landed on a tree branch high above the clearing. Her reflexes aren't human. No normal human could have seen that attacking coming, and yet she dodged it like it was nothing. What is she? Yamato asked in thought as he looked up at the kunoichi. A moment later she jumped off of the branch and descended directly towards him with her fist glowing a brilliant blue. Oh shit. Okashu, Sakura exclaimed as her fist struck the ground where Yamato stood. Dust exploded upwards as the earth shattered and tore itself apart. As the dust cleared, Yamato could be seen coughing from the smoke, and Sakura was now standing. From her file I received before this mission, there is physically no way that she could have reached this level in only 3 years. She's extremely fast and has somehow managed to recreate Tsunade-sama's super strength. Her progress is unnatural. I'm sorry Hokage-sama, but she appears to have experimented on herself to give herself an edge, Yamato deduced as he narrowed his eyes at the pinkette. Sakura smiled sweetly. I saw you use a Makuten jutsu back at the bridge. I doubt you are a senju, so if you're not a senju then you must be one of those experiments. Yamato's eyes hardened at her words. Yes, I read the reports on Orochimaru-sama's experiments concerning the Shodai Hokage's jutsu, and I also know that none were reported to have survived, besides you of course. Then I think it's about time I got serious. Makuten Haijutsu, Jukai Katan. Yamato formed a hand seal and large trees sprouted from the ground around them. They eventually became so thick that sunlight was blocked from the area where the two stood apart. I may not be on the level of the Shodai Hokage, but I'm no pushover either. Sakura realized this also and quickly started forming hand seals. You'll still lose in the end. We'll see. Makuten, Daijuran no Jutsu. Yamato's right arm turned into wood and shot out to try and impale his opponent. The jutsu tore through Sakura's form, but a moment later it puffed out of existence. Damn it, she used a clone. He turned swiftly and spotted Sakura on one of the man-made branches with her hands in a seal. Megan, Jubaku Satsu, she whispered, and the Yamato suddenly found himself bound to a tree which he couldn't control. This has to be a genjutsu. Yamato decoded and formed a hand seal. He expelled chakra from his body and shattered the jutsu, Kai. He quickly turned to check on his opponent when he realized that she was right above him. This is dangerous. Sutenkyaku, Sakura exclaimed as her heel struck down on his position and the tall forest crumbled around them. Trees fell as the two jumped away from each other. Yamato landed atop one of the trees while Sakura landed on a branch a few feet away. You know, this could have turned out much differently, Sakura-san. Had you remained in Konoha, you could have been a very influential member of the medical corps and possibly even a student of Tsunade-sama herself. Kakashi-senpai is very disappointed in you, Sakura-san, Yamato told her. I made my choice, Makuten-san, Sakura stated as she formed a hand seal. Please call me Yamato, the former Anbu captain said simply. Yamato? I'll remember that name. She nodded and started channeling chakra. Bunshin no Jutsu, 10 normal clones appeared at her side. She's sending in normal clones? At best all she could hope for is a distraction. What is she planning? Yamato asked in thought as he finished his own hand seals. Suten, Suihachi. He held up his hand and water came gushing out of his palm, wiping out the clones that came at him. Kaimon, Sakura shouted as her chakra exploded from her body in a number of green and brown spirals. Yamato snapped his attention towards the powerful surge of chakra. She's opening her Hachimon. Cumin. Sakura called out as her chakra output doubled. I must stop her now, Yamato thought as he threw out his arm again and it turned into a barrage of wooden spikes. Makuten, Daijuran no Jutsu. The attack slammed into where Sakura stood, but she just kept going. Simon. Her eyes were now glowing white and her skin had become a reddish brown. There is no other choice, she's too strong now. Makuten, Jukai Haki, Yamato said and slammed his hand into the ground. A very dense wooden wall sprouted from the ground in front of him. I hope that can hold her. Shoman. Sakura's muscles bulged as she screamed. She's too strong. Yamato's eyes widened in fear as the wooden wall he created suddenly shattered and Sakura disappeared from view. She appeared behind him in a burst of speed, struck 1, 2, 4, 8, 16 punches to his body, and he let out a silent scream as pain consumed him. At the end she spun quickly and planted a kick to his chest which sent him crashing down to the ground, bouncing twice before he finally stopped. "Okashu!" Sakura called out as she brought her fist down on the now motionless Konoha shinobi. It was over. Yamato lay in the center of a small crater with Sakura standing over him, still glowing green. After making sure he wouldn't be getting back up, her chakra slowly receded as she closed her celestial gates. She gave out a sigh of relief and winced as pain shot through her arms and legs. "That hurt," she grunted out and dropped to her knees. She took a sample of her now dead opponent's blood and disposed of the body a moment later. "Sakura," a voice said from behind her. She turned and blinked. "Sasuke-kun?" "We're leaving, Orochimaru is dead," the Uchiha told her. Sakura nodded at him. "And Kabuto-sensei?" "He no longer matters," Sasuke said simply as he took off into the trees. Sakura hesitantly nodded and looked back at where the bridge was. "I'm sorry everyone, but I love Sasuke-kun." She disappeared after him a moment later. Grass country, forest. "Fuck, where the hell has that dick guy gone at a time like this?" Tuya growled in thought as she evaded the kunai that was thrown at her. She landed on a tree branch and glared over at her opponent. "This bastard is in for a world of hurt." "Come now Tuya-san, hold still so I can kill you, okay?" Kabuto said with a smirk. "After all, you are a traitor to Orochimaru-sama for abandoning your duties as a kunoichi of Hokage no Sato. You bastard. That place was a hellhole. The only reason I stayed loyal to him was because of his damn curse seal," Tuya shouted at him. "It gave you power, did it not? He gave you power and only asked for your loyalty. Is submission no preferable to destruction?" Kabuto asked simply. "Some things are worse than death," the redhead responded. Kabuto smirked with a nod. "True, but sometimes death is the least of a person's worries." "Whatever bastard," Tuya shot back. "Let's play," she said with a predatory grin. "This is pointless," Kabuto sighed and took out a scroll. He unraveled it and swiped some blood along the kanji imprinted on it, Funkai. Suddenly 24 motionless human figures appeared on the branches around the two. "Say hello to the dead for me, Tuya-san. Shikon no jutsu." The bodies stood up a moment later, jumped at the tree that Tuya stood atop. "What the fuck is going on here? Are those people down there?" she thought as the zombies knocked down the tree she was using. She landed a few feet away and the zombies were suddenly charging towards her. "Okay, I need a plan. How about I just pound them all into a bloody pulp?" "That should work." She bit her thumb and made several hand seals. Kushios no jutsu. Her 3 doki appeared at her side in puffs of smoke. "Mateki, Genbuso Kyoku." Kabuto watched on amused as the doki tore into the 24 attacking zombies. A few moments later it was over and the doki turned their attention to the Otonin since the zombies were now as in completely dead and wouldn't be coming back. The first doki came at him with a large club and brought it down, but he evaded by jumping to the side. The second doki attacked from the side with a large double-edged sword and he was forced to jump over the initial swing. "No wonder Orochimaru-sama didn't take you as one of his hosts, you're pathetic." Kabuto sneered and threw 6 kunai with explosive tags at the ground between himself and the 3 doki. "Kaden, Kasumi and Do no Jutsu." He breathed out a flammable mist while simultaneously detonating the explosive notes on the kunai he had thrown a second ago, and the result was a massive blast of fire. "Shit." Tuya cursed as her doki were incinerated. "Fujutsu Kyuin." She brought her hands up and tried to absorb the jutsu just like her brother had shown her. "You can absorb ninjutsu? Impressive, for a traitor," Kabuto sneered. Tuya fell to her knees trying to calm her breathing. Cough, do you ever shut up?" Kabuto smirked at that. "You know, even with those eyes of yours you're still nothing but a child trying to play in the big leagues. Compared to Naruto-kun you're not even a challenge." His smirk widened when he saw the glare she sent him. "Just shut the fuck up," she shouted and formed 3 specific hand seals. Her right hand exploded into electricity and she shot forward. "Chidori." "Chakura no Mesu," Kabuto said, clearly unimpressed. He grabbed her lightning-covered hand almost effortlessly, surprising Tuya since she thought it couldn't be stopped. "Chidori, huh? Hatake Kakashi must have taught you that." "It doesn't matter now though. Don't look so surprised, Tuya-san. After all, Hatake was and still is someone I consider a threat who is on my level. I've spent many long nights looking for a way to deflect and counter his signature jutsu." I found out that all Raiden Jutsu are susceptible to high frequencies of chakra manipulation that are usually given off during medical operations from the jutsu I am using right now. Let go, the redhead growled at him and tried to pull away. Not a chance, you die now, Kabuto said as his smirk became almost sinister in nature. Choj Yugiga, 3 medium-sized ink lions came from the side and surprised the Auto Jonin, forcing him to pull away. Tuya suddenly found herself in the arms of her root teammate who was smiling at her like normal. Are you alright, Blower? Put me down, he set her down a moment later. And don't call me Blower, Tuya told him with a glare. True, she used a flute, but the term blower could insinuate other things. Thanks, she muttered out, knowing she'd be dead right now without him. Why did you come back? I thought you would have hightailed it out of here by now, she asked him. Sai simply smiled. Since I've been on this team, I've experienced feelings that I thought I no longer had. I wish to understand those feelings, and I do not believe I can do that if you or the rest of the team die. Tuya looked at him for a moment before nodding. Geez, you're a piece of work. Do you know that? He didn't reply. Let's finish this. Are you two done? Kabuto mocked. And what is with that smile, kid? Surely you can do better than that, he taunted. I read in a book that a smile can get you out of a tough situation, even if it's fake, Sai explained, still smiling. Sumi Nagashi, snakes made out of ink, rose up from the ground around Kabuto and caught him by surprise. What is this? Kabuto asked frantically as he tried to break free. My jutsu, Sai told him as black ink fell out of the scroll in his hand and flowed towards the ink snakes that kept the Auto Jonin pinned to the ground. Sai turned with Tuya with a smile on his face. He can't move anymore no matter how strong he is. You're scary when you want to be, the redhead stated, and turned her attention to the Auto Jonin and one of her former tormentors. She shot forward with her hand now engulfed in electricity once again. Chidori. Kabuto's eyes widened in fear as she drove her lightning-covered fist through his chest and out the other side in one swift motion. He coughed up blood as he tried and failed to heal the damage from the wound. And no, he tried to speak, but his voice soon died as his lifeless body dropped to the ground in a heap. Tuya looked down at him aside. It's over. I will dispose of the body, Sai told her, and proceeded to seal the body for study at Konoha Intelligence. Are you alright? He asked the redhead, having picked up on the fact that she couldn't seem to look at the body of their fallen opponent. It's nothing, Tuya responded and sighed. Any idea where the others are? As if in answer of her question, Naruto and Yugito dropped down in front of the pair. Yugito looked a bit out of breath, but Naruto looked like he had been through a tough time. Considering he took on Orochimaru, they shouldn't have been surprised at his current state, as Orochimaru had killed the Sun Daime Hokage. What happened? Tuya asked upon seeing Naruto no longer had his trench coat on him. Kyuubi's chakra is very acidic, so my coat was burned away, Naruto replied. I'm going to need a new one, he added with a sigh. Where's Yamato Taiko? Tuya asked them. Yugito shook her head as she replied, I can only sense his residual chakra signature. His chakra core is inactive and has already decayed. He's dead. They stood in silence for a few seconds. Sasuke and Sakura left a little while ago. I can't track them, she finished. This mission is a failure. Let's go home. There's nothing for us here now, Naruto gave the order. As the group left, Naruto looked back at the now destroyed bridge. I'm sorry this happened, Yamato Taiko. He was gone a moment later. Fire Country, Konoha Hokage Tower. So Orochimaru and Kabuto are dead, Kakashi mused. He leaned back in his chair. I'm sorry about what happened to Tenzo, he was a good man. Tenzo? Yugito couldn't help but ask. It was Yamato's real name, the Hokage answered. He sighed. I'll have the workers add his name to the memorial stone tomorrow evening. I'm sorry, Sensei. He was under my command and I couldn't do anything for him, Naruto said with clenched fists. Naruto, you and your team killed Orochimaru and Kabuto. Two very important figures to Otto. We're at war, Naruto. No one wants to admit it, but Konoha is under attack and your team is the only thing standing between Konoha and the greatest threat of the current generation. People will die, Naruto. You have to accept that, Kakashi told him. Those who stray from the path of justice have no courage, but under the wing of a strong leader cowardice cannot survive, Naruto remembered the words. Exactly, Kakashi agreed as he leaned forward. There is also another matter we need to discuss. It's about Jiraiya-sama, that got their attention. What is it? What happened? Naruto questioned. Suddenly a figure popped into existence, actually several figures. The first they instantly recognized as Tsunade, while the others were a collection of summoned toads. One of them was the toad elder Fukasaku, which Naruto recognized easily, having met him on his training trip. "Hey old man Fukasaku-sensei," Naruto greeted in his own way. "Naruto, watch your language," Kakashi scolded him. "No, it is quite alright," Fukasaku waved the comment off and sighed. "Naruto boy, this isn't a social call," he continued. "What happened?" "It was a demand, not a question." "There's no easy way to say this. Jiraiya boy fell in battle 2 days ago against the Akatsuki leader. He's dead," Fukasaku informed him. Silence, even Sai's smile had slipped from his face. "Huh?" Naruto managed. What did you just say?" "Jiraiya boy was killed 2 days ago by Pain, the Akatsuki leader," Fukasaku reiterated. "How?" Naruto's voice was harsh. "He went to Amigakure no Sato in search of another of his students. A boy named Nagato who like you has the Rinnegan. It turns out that Pain is Nagato and Pain discovered Jiraiya boy during the infiltration. It appears that Pain has 6 different bodies and according to Jiraiya boy none of them were Nagato's, though he did say the lead one was another of his students called Yahiko. Originally Jiraiya boy never intended to battle Pain directly, but Pain's abilities far exceeded his imagination, and without knowing the extent of his powers no one could ever win against him no matter how many times they fought. Jiraiya boy pushed himself beyond his own limits and almost managed to discover their secrets. No one but Jiraiya boy could have gotten as far. On top of that, he could have gotten away if he had wanted to, but he sacrificed his life so that he could leave us this coded message. Even after his throat was cut out, Fukasaku explained and took off his cloak to show them the numbers now engraved on his back. "The real one is not there," Naruto said upon reading the code, surprising those in the room. "You know what this means?" Fukasaku asked in surprise as he gestured to his back. "They're words from Uro Sennin's newest novel. Any idea what it means?" Naruto continued. "It's too vague." Fukasaku shook his head and put his cloak back on. "Did you let him go?" Naruto asked, turning to the Hokage. "Yes," Kakashi answered simply. "Why?" Naruto questioned. "He wanted to go. Nagato-san was his student. I would have done the same thing if it were you instead," Kakashi replied. "I'm sorry Naruto, I tried sending people with him but he wouldn't allow it." Naruto snarled and left the room a moment later. Kakashi sighed tiredly. "I apologize Fukasaku-sama, I'll arrange for Naruto too." No, that's alright, but back to the child of prophecy I was talking about earlier. It is either Nagato-san or Naruto boy. Time will tell which one is the true one," Fukasaku sighed. "If you'll excuse me," Tsunade said stiffly. Kakashi nodded and she left a moment later with Yugito following close behind. "Tsunade Shisho?" Tsunade asked hesitantly. Just give me some time Yugito-chan," Tsunade said and started away with clenched fists. Yugito watched her go for a few seconds before heading off, no doubt in search of Naruto. Tuya and Sai exited a moment later, though Tuya was noticeably shaking. Whether it was sadness or rage remained to be seen however. "I can't believe this," the redhead said with clenched fists. "This asshole, Pain is not going to get away with this," Tuya growled out. Though she didn't much care for Jiraiya because of his perverted tendencies, the man did train Naruto and that was what mattered to her. "It appears Akatsuki has become even more dangerous," Sai commented. "It doesn't matter, this has gone on long enough. They'll pay for what they've done," the redhead growled out. "I must report to Danzo-sama," Sai told her. "Okay, I never thanked you for helping me out on the last mission," Tuya started and kisses him on the cheek. Sai's eyes widened for a second. "Don't read too much into it Dickman, that was just for saving my life." Noted, Sai nodded slowly as he saw her walk away. He disappeared a moment later. That's it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on my other social media accounts. Anime God here, and I'm signing off.